everyone, it's Dawn here. Welcome back to another weekly roundup. Just thought I'd show you what I've been up to this week since I've supposedly retired. Today, or this week, I've been painting, mainly in watercolour, but some of them I've gone back to my old favourites of watercolour pencils. So I am trying to make the transition between one and the other, but sometimes old habits die hard. So here we go. This first one is in watercolour. And I got the inspiration from that by looking at a postcard. I just changed the scene. It wasn't, the sunset was even deeper than that, but I thought I'd make it a bit lighter for the purposes of a painting. And I really enjoyed doing that sunset. I did it wet in wet, and it just merged in really beautifully. And so that's that one. And oh, that's not going to stay. Let's pop it up there out the way. Now that one again is in watercolour. Even the fine bits at the back with window I did with ordinary white watercolour paint, despite what some people say. You can use watercolour, white in watercolour. Some people say you shouldn't, but that's nonsense. If you shouldn't use it, my idea is, why would they make it? So there you go. I'm getting a nod from the other side of the room, so I must be right for once. So anyway, I used a fan brush to do the trees, and a round brush to do this tree at the back. And for the white cottage, I actually left the white of the paper and just did a bluish tint on the side for the shadows. So that's that one. I'll pop that one over there. Now this one was based on another painting. I can't say who because it's from another artist, but I changed it slightly. I made it more of a sunset. The other one was quite bright, and I put some people and a little doggy in it. I actually did this one in watercolour pencils. I thought at this stage there's no way I could do this in watercolour and make it look reasonably good. So I did do this one in watercolour, in my watercolour pencils, but I enjoyed putting this bit in. When I painted this, I thought it looks great, but I thought it needed something in the front, so I just put the couple with their doggy in. So just to add a bit of life, really. So that's that one. That one I did again in watercolour pencil. I know I'm not doing very well with my transition to watercolour, am I? But I will. And this is an American barn, as many of you might know. And that was inspired from a photograph from one of my photo packs on my iPad. And I did that more or less from the photograph. I changed one or two bits. Oh yes, I did actually do something different. I added the birdie at the front. That one wasn't there, but it was by the time I painted mine. And now I've got some over here, just very quickly, which are more of a portrait mode. And this one was in watercolour. My sunset on the seascape, that was in watercolour. And I just added a bird to add life to it. That one was also in watercolour, funnily enough, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was going to do it in pencil, but I thought it would take forever. So I thought, no, let's go for it and do watercolour. I was actually very pleased with the way that one came out, and I love painting animals, so that worked well. And, oh, I forgot about him. Yes, and that one, that was inspired by a photograph, again from one of my photo apps on my iPad. And I just loved the silhouette of the horse rider and the little dog, and the sun pooling down onto there and making it nice and bright. So I used that as my inspiration, and I used a big stippling brush. It's called the Golden Leaf brush, designed by the late great Terry Harrison. And I used my brush to do that bit there, and I used the fan stippler to do these bits at the back. And I did use a white pencil just to streak this bit in. So that's the only bit of cheating I did, really. And the last one was, to me, something quite new, portrait painting. So I'm going to show you the drawing. This is my drawing. I was so sure I'd probably louse it up that I did the drawing first, so that if the painting went wrong, I thought at least I've still got the drawing that I can refer to. But I actually am quite pleased with the way the drawing came out. If I hold it up a bit, you might be able to see it better. The painting is actually of my handsome husband Graham, and I did this in pencil and a watercolour pencil, and I painted this in several layers and then did some retouching at the end. And here we go, ready? Ta-da! And that's the painting. I'm really pleased with the way that came out. It took hours to build up these layers and then just let them dry. I think there were about 4 or 5 layers altogether. And then I just did the finishing touches, such as the eyebrows and a few touches on the lips here and the highlights in the eyes. They were all done at the last minute, as they usually are. But I'm so pleased that how that came out. I'll probably never do another portrait as good as that again, but I obviously had a good model. So thank you, Graham, for allowing me to do that. And he's nodding at me. Good lad. And so that's all I've done this week, really. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be up to next week. But what I am going to do, because I've had a few requests, and thank you very much for that, that's very kind. A few of you have requested that I perhaps do 1 or 2 demonstrations during the week. So I will do that. I'll probably do some technique from maybe 1 or 2 painting techniques next week, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll see. And then I'll be back at the end of the week again for another roundup of what I've been up to. So I hope to see you then. And in the meantime, thank you all very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy everything that you do. And I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.